Hello friends, welcome to Behind the Designs, where I create a beautiful life through creative planning. I'm Stephanie, and today I'm going to be doing a special page for my Happy Planner. It is a thank you for all you who follow, comment, and watch my videos. So that's what I'm going to do today. Okay, so today I wanted to put together a Happy Planner specialty page just as a thank you. We are closing out the first quarter of the new year, 2024, and I feel like it's been a while since I've done this, and I apologize for that, but I just want to take a moment and thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel, who watch my videos, who comment and like the videos, and provide feedback through those comments. So I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And I do regularly take a look through, and just kind of peruse comments that had been made. And I do see some regulars who do come back frequently. So that's all going to be part of this page. And you can see all the fun things going on. It is, 4 or 5 days or so, 4 days before Easter. So it's going to kind of have a spring vibe. As you can tell, I do have a notepad out here. So this is a rainbow notepad. And I'm going to be incorporating this into my page today, as well as some of this other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in advance my flowers that I did. So over here I have this little tray of flowers. And it's a little hard to tell at the moment, but you'll be able to see as I get into the video and I get them out on the desk here. But they are essentially this. So I'm going to incorporate, and I've done this in the past, a little bit of watercolor in my page today. I will not be watercoloring the Happy Planner page. I have instead pulled out my watercolor Happy Planner book that I created, and in there I have some watercolor paper. So I pulled a sheet out of that was just kind of an extra sheet, and I used since I'm going to be using water, I used VersaFine ink, which is a pigment ink. It's just regular Onyx black. I stamped my image onto the watercolor paper, and that image is this here. I just used this flower here. And, regardless of whatever stamp you use, if you use VersaFine ink, when you watercolor, it will not pull the ink from your stamp image. So this is definitely the very top tip I can give you. If you're going to watercolor and you want to stamp, use this ink. So I've already pre-done that. I've done a number of stamps only because, or not stamping, I did a number of these. They're basically die cuts. So I stamped the image. I'm going to watercolor these, and then I'm going to fussy cut a little bit around them to give me some more of these. To do that, I'm going to set this aside. We're going to come back to this. But for now, I'm just going to get it out of the way a little bit. And to watercolor, I use Koi watercolors. This is the Sakura Colors, and I love this palette. When I need to find a color or go to a basic, I pull this out every single time. So that's what I'm going to use today. I'm going to kind of push this a little bit to the side as well. And I need my paper towel. And then I'm going to show you another trick too. I was going to do that for this page, but in the end I decided not to, only because I didn't want to make the page too bulky. So when I'm working in a traveler's notebook, again, I will bulk that thing up like no tomorrow. I think I've done like a quick flip of one of my traveler's notebooks, the inserts, but for Happy Planner, I try and keep it as flat as I can. So I'll show you the trick, but I won't be using it for this particular project. And of course, let me just showcase. You may not be able to see the cup. I can't tilt it too much. But this cup is a Rae Dunn cup I love. It says, "Love my peeps," which are all y'all. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am going to create, I was trying to keep with the colors of this rainbow. So I kind of have some, you know, pinkish and darker pink, some almost like sherbety orange. So I'm going to be trying to do like this color here. So this, I would call it a light pink with just a tint of lavender or purple. So that's what I'm going to be trying to create today on this last bunch here. So over here I have my clean and dirty cups. Again, can't tilt it too much, but I did put some Cricut on the front. One says clean, one says dirty. Even though I can pretty much tell which one's dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some color. So let's see, we're shooting for pink. So let's grab some Crimson Rose. Or is this Crimson Rose? No, this is something rose. I can't even see it this far away. But I'm basically just going to grab some color. And I usually like to let my brush sit for a little while in the water so I can grab up more color. And I just put that in clean. So see, I should probably switch this around. Clean is now dirty technically, but we're just gonna go with it. But I'll let my brush soak in the water for a little bit because it'll soak up into the brush bristles and make it a little bit softer, grab the color a little easier. So let's see, I'm gonna add some water. Now, the more water you add, the lighter it gets. I'm gonna get some of this off my brush. So see how it's just getting lighter? I kind of really want to go for that really light pink. So I'm just kind of taking a little color out here and there, because once I add a purple, it's going to darken it a bit. I probably should have something under my desktop so it doesn't get water on it, but that's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to grab some purple, and I don't want too much. So let's just kind of keep a little to the side here. And you know, with these type of palettes, you can just, you know, keep little pieces, you know, splotches here and there. I call them splotches. And you can mix, pull them in as you need them. Now this is looking pretty close. It's still a bit dark though. So let me keep adding some water. I want to really, not pastel, but a light color, because this rainbow is not a dark color at all. All right, so let me just give some of these a little swash of color. Yeah, you definitely don't want your brush too wet because, and again, that really depends on your paper. So if you have paper that is watercolor paper that is thick, then this will work. More water. But when you have a thinner paper such as this is a watercolor paper, but it's a lower quality. You definitely want to not use too much water on it, as it will buckle the paper a little. So I'm just periodically grabbing up some color. If your brush feels like it's getting dry, just dip it in the water. And I'm going to give all of these. The nice thing too about watercolor is it really dries quickly, especially if you don't use a lot of water. So these will be, by the time I go to fussy cut these will be dry. And I'm not being perfect. I mean, if it comes, a few of those, you know, they're not in the lines. This is purely just going to be part of the project. It's not really about perfecting the watercolor. It's just about getting these on in the manner that is in my head. Hopefully. You know, I have this project in mind and I'm hoping that it works out. So I'm not too worried about how perfect the watercolor is. So my brush is getting dry. And at any time that you feel like your color is draining, you can go grab a little bit more, you know, you just add more water. I have never said that I am a perfectionist or a watercolor perfectionist. I'm certainly not a watercolor artist. I just like to dabble in it. Probably more than acrylic paint. I like I like the fact that it works with water. I've always liked water. But it has like a much softer feel to it. Now you can layer your acrylic paints, but I don't know, for me, watercolor just seems to have more of a softness to it, which is kind of what I really wanted to go for with this project. So that's the end of the painting. Now this, the beauty of this is I can clean off this tray at any time, just run it underwater, but I'm gonna leave that in there. I'm gonna let that dry. I don't want to get my little color key messed up. So I'm just gonna kind of move some things around here. Let that sit there. And I'm gonna push this back just out of the way so that it's not gonna bother my, I did have a little water, too much water on there. Just gonna let it dry a sec. Now, let me show you. I had a spare around here. Oh, here it is. That I was gonna show you. So, one trick you can do. So if you wanted to add more of a 3D or raised effect to your page, like say if you do this and you want the flowers to be more 3D, if you take it could be anything. I'm using just a square of napkin. So here's a flower. This was a test flower. And then this here, you can use anything that has, I don't know if you can tell, it has like a ball on the end of it. It's for doing like nail polish designs and so forth. But the roundness works. If you've ever done sugar flowers for a cake or worked with, you know, any type of thing like that, these tools are used to give a bend to the flower. And that's the same concept with paper. So if I were to take this and I were to rub this around, kind of go in a spiral from the middle out and rub it around. Then, when you're finished, you now have, if you can see, let me get a tweezers here, maybe that'll help. So, you know, here's your typical flat paper. And then here's the raised, not good, get that out of the way. Here's the raised flower. So see how there's a bend to it in the back? That will put it on the paper raised up off the paper. So just a little trick if you're interested in doing that. I'm not going to do that again. I was going to, but I decided not to. And just so I don't spill this, I'm going to move my coffee out of the way. Love my peeps. I saw this cup and I'm like, you know what? I got to get it. Just a little coffee break. Okay. So let me go ahead and get started with this. So to hopefully cut down on some of the time, I went ahead and I did a few things. Oh, well, here we go. So before I get started, let me cut these out. I will speed this part up and then we'll get started. Okay, so I went ahead and as you saw me, I switched scissors. So when I'm doing a fussy cut, I prefer these scissors because they're easier to open and close. There's not so much of a tightness here. Love these for, you know, if you're using stickers or whatever, but they're very tight, so they tend to be a problem. So I switched scissors, no big deal. All right, so let me get all this garbage out of the way. Grab another sip of coffee. Okay, here's my fussy cut flowers. So this was a notepad that I'm going to be using, and I pre-did a few things just to keep this on the shorter end of my typical videos. So I took this one sheet of note paper and I cut it. I kind of measured, you know, decided where I wanted it. And what I'm going to do, I did some lettering in advance. So again, I just had it so I could trace it. And I kind of measured how I wanted it to go. So I'm going to kind of be measuring it to where the letters are. So that it's going to kind of go in that, and I, you know, kind of gave myself a little, that arc of it. So I took this and I just kind of traced it. So I had an arc of where to go with the other side. And what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to use my Tombow dots and I'm going to pull this in too. So if you can't read it yet, right now it says, "You are all my basket of peeps." So this is going to be my subscriber acknowledgement page for the first quarter of 2024. Like I said, I think I missed some of it last year, and I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to do this now, because I had this really great idea and I kind of want to share it with you, as well as acknowledge you and, you know, reflect to you that I appreciate that you follow my channel. It really does mean the world to me when you comment and, you know, maybe you just, you know, liked a particular part, or, you know, maybe something you hadn't thought of and you know, will use that in your planner. You know, I do listen, I do pay attention to all those things. And so I wanted to take this time to show my appreciation. Now, when I did these letters, I think the B is not right. I think the paper shifted. So I'm going to do it this way instead. I'm going to go this way, because I had my page level down here. So I'm going to do it this way. I can fix the lettering, no problem. In fact, before I go too far, I'm just going to erase this page, you know, just the lettering off of the rainbow. So the interesting thing is I am going to be doing a little fun thing. I always do these little things all the time. I am going to use one of the circles from the Colorful Shapes book, and I am going to try and make it, we'll see how well it goes, into a basket. So I'm debating if I'm going to be putting the circle down now or as I start getting these on. So in case you haven't figured it out, what I'm basically going to do, let me do this. So I have these colors here. Let me just kind of shuffle these all out. Okay. I have them all in colors to sort of mimic the colors in the rainbow. So I did like a bunch of them in various colors. I'm just kind of putting them all together. Here's purple. These are kind of light. These are darker. Whoops. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to put them in the same order as this. I think I'm going to kind of keep them in that general vicinity. So let's see, pink. Oops, here we go. So as you can tell, so with watercolor, you can start out with red, and then you can vary that red by adding more and more water. So that's sort of what I did with these colors, where, I had to step off. I had a little bit of a frog. I can't even talk now. A little bit of a frog in my throat. So I think these go here. So that's all I did, was I varied the color. I think these go here. Okay. these are kind of the general idea. You get the picture. At least if I have them out. And then of course, I'm going to incorporate the bunny. Now the bunny came from another notepad. I do have a lot of notepads, so I typically try and find ways to use them. So this is one way. So this was a notepad, and this bunny was on here. So I fussy cut the bunny out. Also going to use it on here. This is actually going to go, I'll get my dots. This one I can do now, so let me get the bunny on. Okay. So this was going to go, since it was already cut for this corner, I'm going to leave it that way. Oops. Let me tuck some of this back in there. I think that's good. Okay. So the bunny's on there. So with the flowers, I have options. I can use my Tombow tape. I can use double-sided tape. It just depends on what you prefer. With the double-sided tape, I would have to cut it down in order for it to stick. Okay. So sorry. Little froggy. Okay, so I am going to, I think I'm going to have to play around with the idea of when to put this down. So let me start getting these on here. So the nice thing is I'll have a period of time if I use this where I can lift it up if I need to. So we're going to give this one a shot and see how well it goes. Let's see, we've got this. And my goal is to kind of scatter them around. Now, the other thing I could have used, I suppose if I thought about it longer, was I do have like a glue pen. That would work out as well because, you know, you're working in a small area of the flower, such as this, and it's kind of sticking on my page. So that is another option. I may pull that out just to finish. Let's see. I'm not necessarily shooting for exactness. Let's see, these are, I'm going to kind of just work. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to stop so that I can get work on getting my basket over here. So, my intent is to, let's see, trying to measure for, I think if I cut it to here, let's do that. Okay, this can go back in here. Done with that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this on here so that I'm going to trim just a little bit off the bottom there. In fact, I need to erase this line now. Okay. Let's get this basket over here. All right. And then I would be able to trim this off. Okay. Just so it looks like the basket's sitting on the floor or ground. All right, so I have a few flowers left. Let me just, before I stick them down. And then this one. Actually is going to have to be much smaller. I may even have to do just this. So yeah, that one will be a little bit harder to get in, but I do like these, so let me get these on. This one is going to go there. I don't know if I'm going to get this on here. Let's see. Oops. All right. By luck, I actually got some on there. I think what I'm going to do is raise this one a bit. There. Okay. So I now have, look at this cute little thing. Love this so much. So I'm going to bring over my micron. So let's see, there's 8 and 1. I need 1. Because what I'm going to do is just give each of these rows an outline because there is black on this side. I just kind of want to do the same on this side. Okay, so I did mess up in a few spots, but I'm not worried about that. So what I'm going to do over here, because right now it just looks like a half circle. So I pulled out the best color I could find that matched this. And I'm just going to, let me start here. I'm going to kind of do what would look like a basket. So this is a grid circle. So I'm just kind of doing half lines. Again, I'm going to try and make it look like it's a basket weave. It may work, it may not. All right. And then I was just going to do this. Okay. So it kind of has that little bit of a vibe. It's not exact, but I am going to take my micron and I'm going to go into, so I left kind of like 2 lines, and I'm just going to make some flowers. Just sort of inspired by the Easter basket, the DIY Easter basket that I put up. And so that is, I could push this one in just a smidge. Let's do that. It should come up fairly easy, just to kind of start angling it inward. Okay. Now I was going to use the Happy Planner seasonal stickers for, I saw in here a, oops, butterfly. I definitely want to put a butterfly in here. It was this one here that I just kind of wanted to have it flying towards it. I mean, there's so many things I could add to this page, but I'm trying to keep it simple. Then what I'm going to use is my Micron 08, and I'm going to use that to do the lettering. Look how cute this is, right? So with the writing, there is pencil behind it. Even though it's a micron 08, I should still be able to erase the pencil mark behind it. I'm just gonna let it dry for a second. Okay, so I fixed up a little bit on the edge of the rainbow. And now what I wanna do, get some of this stuff out of the way, is I wanna just go into, I feel like over here needs a flower. So this inner part is actually paper, but I cut that out because I want to put in here January through March 2024. Okay, now while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and get this pencil mark off here. And again, I will speed up any of the parts that I can. It can get long when you do these specialty pages. And, you know, some things I can speed up and then other things I'll, you know, kind of erase. Okay, so see how cute this is looking? I love how it came out. Okay, so the last thing I want to add is over here. I want to do a pink. So let me make sure this is the right pink I want. That'll work. Okay, so what I want to put over here is thank you. So again, this is for all of the people who are watching and following. I really, truly hope you love it, that you love the videos I put out, that I would love to hear your thoughts on this page too. I'm just getting some erasers out of the way. All right, so I'm going to do thank you. I love how this came out. I hope you love it too. So what I'm going to do is I went through and I collected, I pulled out all the names that have commented on the videos. Sorry, there was dust. I have a habit of like getting dust out of the way. So I'm going to go through and just, on the back of this page, I'm going to go through and I'm going to write down the names or the handles of all of the individuals who commented on my videos from January to March. I've got about 29 or plus of those names. So I won't take up the time to do that here, but I will showcase this at the end of this video. And then this is the finished page. This is going to be a specialty page in my Happy Planner, and I love to be able to look back on it and see what occurred January to March of this year. More importantly, I want to thank you all for joining me, for watching my videos. I appreciate the fact that you take the time out of your busy day to sit down and watch my videos, however long they are, and I see you, I comment for you, I reply to your comments, and I do see the regulars. Now, I do know that there was one individual I kind of want to mention because this person has come back numerous times and commented, so I just want to give a little shout out to Loving Isabel 2078 for taking the time to comment on almost every video. I truly appreciate that. But I just want to say thank you for joining me on my videos. I truly hope you enjoyed this. And anything that I can link, I will link in the comments below. And I hope you have a wonderful day as you create a beautiful life. Thank you for watching.